morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our 1997 order launch meeting. The purpose of this meeting is to give you an overview of the 1997 models and talk about the Canadian vehicle industry and how Chrysler expects to perform. But first, we'd like to take a few moments to discuss a very important subject to all of us, the vehicle distribution system or order-to-delivery system at Chrysler. Many of you may remember that John McDonnell and I introduced this new world-class system to you 3 years ago in dealer meetings held across the country. The order-to-delivery system represented one of the ways for Chrysler to achieve its mission of being the premier automotive company in North America by 1996 and worldwide by the year 2000. And the system has certainly greatly contributed to many of the amazing successes we have achieved over the past 3 years. That's why it is of particular concern to us when we review the latest CADA dealer survey to find that dealers have ranked Chrysler's distribution system so poorly in comparison to the scores given in other areas of the survey. We feel that perhaps the survey timing, dealer frustrations from delays due to the exceptionally strong demand for our new products, and virtually continuous new model launches over the past 3 years have overshadowed our tremendous success and resulted in this industry average rating. It therefore seems very timely to take a few minutes to review the order-to-delivery system with you, where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. John?
When we introduced this new process to you 3 years ago, the main objective of the order-to-delivery system was to provide you, our customer, with a more market-driven system through improved order processing, more efficient communications about orders, production, and sales, and improved inventory management with highly focused products, short lead times, predictable production and delivery. In other words, a production system that was predictable, consistent, and reduced the order-to-delivery times. We made a number of major changes to achieve these goals. We changed the total scheduling and production process from monthly to weekly, sold order preference within allocation, and simultaneous order and entry scheduling within allocation. We introduced a new daily communication format to dealers, a vehicle order tracking report, dial bulletin board for restrictions, late availability, a new dealer order status report, and new dealer inventory reports. We also introduced the TOPS ordering system, which virtually eliminated edit errors. We added more accurate estimated ship dates to all orders in gate line status. And we introduced scheduling by supermodel groups rather than model body. This reduced the potential allocation requirements shown to a dealer from 85 to a total of 35 per dealer. And we introduced a new allocation process which treated each dealer equitably in determining a weekly allocation. This system leveled the allocation process to allow a steady flow of product to the dealer rather than lumps of orders, production, and inventory, causing higher dealer inventory costs and distress sales. Richard?
As a result of this new system and of the many enhancements made since its launch, it's important to note some of the positive impacts. First, the order-to-delivery cycle time has been reduced from 45 to 39 days since implementation. Our best cycle time has been 31 days. However, on average, over 65% of all vehicles built are delivered to dealers within the 39 days. This is a substantial reduction in cycle time and one which we are continuously striving to reduce. Also, while the average dealer days supply has remained fairly constant at 70 days, it is important to note that the average days on lot has dropped from 95 to 86 days. This 9-day reduction in average time means that dealer inventory is spending less time on the ground before it's sold. This also suggests a much smoother and regular product flow to the dealers, which can only contribute to additional sales and reduced inventory costs. As a matter of fact, the reduction in days on lot, coupled with lower interest rates and their impact on our supplemental floor plan program, have all contributed in dealer floor plan interest costs dropping significantly over the last few years from $277 to $193 per new unit retailed. In addition, the average dealer profit at 1995 year-end was the highest dealer profit in the last 8 years. In fact, it more than doubled from 3 years ago. This also coincides with a period when our combined car and truck penetration is increased substantially from 17.4% in January 1993 to 19.6% in March 1996. And this was done in a particularly tough car and truck industry. I'm sure you'll agree with me in saying that all these facts can account for an impressive scorecard. Obviously, new innovative products have played a predominant role in these accomplishments. Consider, for instance, that when we introduced our new order process, we had just launched our line of LH cars. Since then, we have virtually changed our entire lineup. But we know that distribution plays a key role in any product's success in the marketplace. And we are convinced that order to delivery has done just that for both Chrysler and you. By virtually every standard of measurement, we have been a success at blending world-class vehicles with a world-class distribution system, the order to delivery.
But no system is perfect, and some dealers have expressed concerns. So let's review these key concerns and what Chrysler has done about them. As you'll see, it appears that these concerns are principally caused by vehicle line and option code restrictions, as well as plant constraints. The first concern: why are there restrictions on popular models and option packages? More importantly, why are they on restrictions so long? Well, let's agree on first things first. You want to sell all the vehicles you can, and we want to build all the vehicles so you can sell them. Unfortunately, strong market demand can equal short-term restrictions on a particular model or option combination as we ramp up production. Unprecedented market demand equals longer-term restrictions until we can get the suppliers to provide us with the materials to build to the demand. Hindsight is always 20/20. Who in the industry knew that the fourth door in the NS would be in such unprecedented demand? Chrysler originally forecasted 65% installation rate for the door. We bumped that to 85% within 30 days of initial sales. We then asked the suppliers to provide us capacity for up to 100% of our production. The trouble with that was that our production was also an upwardly moving target, as we tried to maximize production as soon as possible to meet demand. In the interim, the suppliers had already maxed out their production in the short term. And that was just the fourth door, not the glass that goes into the door. That was a separate issue with another set of problems. The point of this is not to explain suppliers or capacity issues. It is simply to show you that any substantially increased demand on an option or model body can result in a restriction status because of its most basic common part, until we can resolve the issue. Restrictions and plant constraints will remain with us in the short term as long as there are unforeseen demands on a model or option. The good news is that virtually all past restrictions have been resolved, and we do not anticipate any new ones at this time. However, if there is one, it will be communicated immediately and easily found on the dial bulletin board. Another concern: why is there a BG status at all? Why can't Chrysler build every order I send? I only order popular models that my customers want. There are primarily only two vehicle statuses, BX and BG. Simply put, BX status is a good buildable order, and BG means that the order cannot be built for a number of reasons: preferred shipping periods, financing, restrictions on an option or model body build, or a plant constraint. Again, you want to sell as many vehicles as you can, and we want to build every order we can so that you can sell them. However, scheduling orders that we know we cannot build in the next 30 days doesn't help you in properly forecasting your inventories and sales. The total order-to-delivery system was designed to give you predictable deliveries, not aged in-system orders that can only cause further frustrations that neither of us can resolve. We would rather tell you up front what we can and cannot do for that week. All orders are reviewed each Sunday night against plant constraints and restrictions, and are reclassified in status according to the current production availability for the following week. Another concern: It is very difficult to find out why an order is in BG status and cannot be built. The Dial Bulletin Board, or Function 51, was created to advise you of any information on restrictions, plant constraints, and late availability, as well as TOPS and code guide updates. The Bulletin Board is refreshed each day by 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to provide you with the latest up-to-date information. However, it has been difficult for you to find all the information about a particular car line or truck line, as the information has been spread throughout the total bulletin board under various subheadings. This has caused the bulletin board to be both lengthy and confusing. The result is that dealers call the region rather than look up the information on the board. The rather unique part of this scenario is that the region then looks at the same bulletin board for the answer, or they call Windsor where we look at the same bulletin board for the answer. By now you have received an email advising you that we have changed the bulletin board for 97 launch to make it much more user-friendly and easily read. It's also shorter. There are only two main headings to choose from, car or truck. Under either of these titles, you will find all the pertinent information about a particular car line under that car line's subheading. For example, all information on late availability, restrictions, code guide updates, and so on can be found for minivans under the truck main title and minivan subheading. In other words, we've simplified the process for finding the information. Now another concern. Why would good orders remain unscheduled even though I have an allocation? From model introduction until February of this year, some BX orders were not scheduled even though there was an allocation. This was primarily due to plant constraints and partially caused by multiple plant production. Simply put, we were trying to maximize production at each plant given the many variables of model bodies and options. The NS model would be a good case in point. Since February, corporate has rededicated itself to a weekly review of all orders versus plant constraints, restrictions, and so on. All orders will be placed in either BX or BG status and left there for the full week. Any BX orders will be available for schedule and should be scheduled if there is an allocation. However, if there are any problems, such as a plant constraint for that week on 4x4 models, you will be able to find an explanation in the Dial Bulletin Board. Another concern, what is the allocation system anyway? Chrysler said that any allocation that my dealership didn't use would be lost, but it appears to me that all Chrysler does is add it to the next week. This is a weekly allocation of production that is reserved for your dealership and represents actual plant production 30 days from the current date. The total allocation process is explained in detail in the weekly vehicle ordering and scheduling system book located in your dealership. In a nutshell, the process looks at your dealership's total available, that is, the scheduled production and dealer inventory, versus your retail sales in the last 90 days to determine your day's supply. The same calculation is done for the region, with the next week's allocation added into the total available. Any regional allocation is then shared to those dealers that are below the region's average day's supply. This system allows for a more leveled production flow to any dealer, as it does not immediately react to a sharp sales increase or decrease. On average, it will take a 4 to 6 week period for weekly allocations for a dealer to see a substantial increase or decrease to the allocation. This formula is recalculated for all dealers at the start of each week and therefore considers the latest information on orders, sales, and total availability. Of course, seasonality also plays a part, as allocations will increase in the spring versus decrease in the late fall. The allocations are run and shown to all dealers every Monday morning. Since the weekly allocation numbers are small in comparison to the number of dealers in a region, most small dealers very seldom see a weekly allocation. Also, any special dealer promotions and the like cannot be easily accommodated by the Monday allocation process. Therefore, the regions have a small additional weekly holdout. which they allocate to the dealers to handle the small dealers, abnormal fleet quantities, and promotional requirements. This additional allocation appears to the dealers on Tuesday. It may be either the allocation changes on a Monday to Tuesday, or the fact that lost allocation one week will not automatically reduce the next week's allocation, that is causing the confusion and appearance of allocations being rolled over to the next week for a dealer. Please remember, the leveling factor in the allocation process is there to ultimately protect you from lumps of inventory being built and sitting in your inventory. As we discussed with you back 3 years ago during the order-to-delivery meetings, one of the first paradigms we proved was that allocations do not drive wholesale orders. Dealers order vehicles based on their sales forecast and market requirements, not on the basis of a number produced by the factory. Dealers have certainly proved this point time and time again, particularly on hot models such as the NS, T300 Club Cab, and others. Another concern: dealer input is not considered in the allocation process. We do consider dealer input in weekly calculations by consideration of the dealer's scheduled production, inventory, and sales. Additionally, we utilize total dealer order information by car line and truck line to help us plan future production for Canada, 60 days out or longer. It is a critical part of our longer range planning. Another concern: what is the VOT exactly and what does it tell me? Again, an exact explanation of the Vehicle Order Tracking Report can be found in the weekly Vehicle Ordering and Scheduling System book located in your dealership. It's probably best to tell you what the VOT is and is not. It is a weekly process that allocates a share of the available production to the dealer. It's a report updated overnight and available to the dealer every day with the latest information on the dealership's orders, schedules, and sales. The allocation shown is a weekly production allocation reserved for the dealer from Monday to Wednesday of that week. Good orders placed against that allocation will be immediately scheduled for actual production approximately 30 days later. BG, or unbuildable orders, are also shown on the report. A reference to the bulletin board, or dial function 51, must be done to understand why the orders cannot be built. Order changes can be submitted to make them good orders. Now, the VOT is not a dealership sales forecast or a dealership order rollout. These two items can only be accomplished by you and your Chrysler business team manager. Another concern mentioned: Chrysler says that they are continuously improving the distribution system, but I don't see it. Now, there have been many small improvements over the past 3 years, and I've just explained some of them. But we pledge to keep you better advised in the future of any changes. You've already been advised of the new bulletin board format. Please ensure you review this format and give your business team member any suggestions for further improvement. We certainly welcome any suggestions. Additionally, later this year, you will receive a revision to the weekly Vehicle Ordering and Scheduling System book. These will be inserts to replace the current contents found in this blue and white binder, which was sent to each dealership last year. Please ensure that this book is used and reviewed by all salespersons to better understand our vehicle order system. In summary, we, both you and Chrysler, have enjoyed phenomenal success over the past 3 years while bringing a brand new world-class product lineup to market. During this time, we have implemented a premium distribution system to complement and enhance our ability to provide those world-class vehicles to you. It hasn't been without some problems and frustrations. However, our problems can best be summarized as unprecedented demand for our product. In other words, unprecedented success. And if there were ever any good problems to have, then these may be the problems. Most importantly, we are tackling each problem and issue as soon as it comes up and resolving it. And we are communicating with you more effectively through the bulletin board on those issues. Richard.
Ladies and gentlemen, Order to Delivery was launched 3 years ago and it's obvious that the process has evolved. We certainly understand that this last model year might have been frustrating at times, particularly on specific models such as the new minivans and the T300 Club Cab 4x4s, primarily for the reasons that John has just reviewed. But based on how the system has handled the allocation, scheduling, and shipment of all other products, Chrysler is more than ever convinced that this is the best ordering process system, given our changing market and manufacturing conditions. It is, however, critical that all Chrysler dealers be as convinced of this as Chrysler itself. To that end, it is our intention in the coming year to communicate with you more often and more regularly on specific distribution issues, as well as some of the dealer responsibilities that are inherent to the good functioning of the system. Let me just say on this point that a regular dealer order flow can only have a positive impact on the system. It will allow our business teams more time to deal with the many other facets of dealer business as opposed to constantly reminding dealers of their order shortfalls. You will perhaps recall from our order-to-delivery launch meetings that dealer discipline was cited as an integral part of the good functioning of this system. That condition certainly has not changed, and yet we sometimes wonder if maybe some dealers might not be trying to use the system to do the exact opposite. That is, shy away from some of their market responsibilities. For instance, the inconsistency with which dealers have been submitting car orders throughout the last 6 months has certainly caused us some concern. Overabundance of orders at build-out resulting in cancellations, and this following several months of order shortages that had resulted in lost production. The outcome is obvious, and there will be a price to pay for both of us. Inadequate car availability, fewer car sales, less profits, and declining car share. Ladies and gentlemen, once again in closing on this segment of the program, let me just remind you that your allocation and distribution system requires your ongoing discipline and involvement. We would therefore ask that you continue to work with your business team managers to fully realize the benefits of this world-class system. From our end, we will strive to further improve communications on all distribution matters. Finally, it's important to remember that we're in this together and that our success is only determined by the satisfaction level of our customers. And in this case, it's you as well as the ultimate retail customer. Thank you. Second half of this video, John and I will do a quick review of what's new in 1997, as well as the current industry and sales forecast for the coming model year. To start, let's review what's happening now in the current model year, just to give you a benchmark for our 1997 position. For the 1996 model year through April, the car industry was down just over 9% from the same period last year, a trend that we've been experiencing in Canada for about 10 years now. The truck industry, however, has not shown the same pattern of decline and is in fact continuing to grow. It's up 2% for the model year through April and has shown good, steadily yearly growth since 1991. We at Chrysler, like all other manufacturers, have watched our car sales volume decline for this model year through April. Although the car industry overall is down 9%, our car volume is down 17%, with our market share falling from 16 in the same period last year to 14.3% this year, a share decline of 1.7 penetration points. While some of this can be attributed to the loss of our imported models, Over 50% of it has come in the basic middle segment, where the LH models have experienced a 25% decline and a 5-point share loss. This is a trend we intend to stop and reverse in the coming months. Unlike cars, our truck sales have bucked the industry trend. We are experiencing a 22% increase, while our market share has risen over 5 points to 28.2% model year to date through April. With the exception of the mini-small utility, that is the YJ segment, we have experienced market share improvement in every segment of the truck industry in which we participate. No other major manufacturer has experienced growth this year in their total truck sales.
Rather than just relay the numbers for 1997, we thought we might look at the full product lineup and talk about what's new and where we want to go with our sales volumes in 97. We'll start with small cars and work our way through cars and then finish with trucks. First, the Plymouth and Dodge Neon. Here's the car that competes in the biggest car segment, subcompact, which represents almost 41% of the car market. With the phase-out of our import models, Neon will take on even more importance. However, Neon's sales figures have not met our expectations in the 96 model year. We added the EX package on the two-door model in 96 to cover lost volume on Colt and Summit, and found our two-door sales went up, but the increase was directly offset with a corresponding loss on four-door sales. For 1997, there have been some changes to the Neon model lineup. Plymouth will have base, Highline, and Espresso models, while Dodge has base, Highline, and Sport model. All Dodge and Plymouth models will be identified by brand name decals on the deck lid. Neon receives a new wheel treatment on all models and new cast aluminum wheels. There's new sport seat fabric, while the flash decor has been canceled, and we've made an armrest standard on all models. The Highline, Espresso, and Sport Coupe models get cloth added to the door trim panels for a more upscale look. And there's a new AM/FM stereo with compact disc player available. The EX model now includes an upscale trim with a split fold-down rear seat. For the 97 model year, our objective is to sell 36,000 Neons and raise our share to 12.8%. Now, if you think this is aggressive, compare it to the 50,000 P, PL, and LE models we sold in the 1994 model year. This is an objective that is within our reach and will be aggressively pursued throughout the 1997 model year. Let's take a look at the compact segment now and our JA cars, Cirrus, Stratus, and Breeze. This market segment has declined this year, both in volume and share of the car industry, mostly as a result of losses by GM and imports. Our volume is down 12% this model year, but our share is up 0.5 to 18.3% of the compact segment, passing Ford Contour and Mercury Mystique along the way. There have been detailed changes to the JA car this year. Probably the most welcome news is that all models now have a standard console with armrest with 2 more cup holders, and we've added a covered storage area. There are improvements to the air conditioning controls and a new 6-disc CD changer mounted in the instrument panel center stack. The 2.4-liter 4-cylinder engine gets a low rumble intake manifold and a structural oil pan. Cirrus gets an optional instrument panel mounted computer with compass and traveler functions. Stratus ES with a V6 engine gets the AutoStick transaxle shifter. Here's how we see our volumes and penetrations in the compact segment. In the 97 model year, we plan to increase both our volume and share with the help of Plymouth Breeze, which will be available for the entire model year. Now let's look at our LH models. This is the last year for the current models, so we'll run through 97 production a little longer than usual. 97 model production will continue into August 1997. We expect normal sales volumes and availability throughout the entire model year. In fact, we may build inventory towards the end of the year, depending on the 98 production launch schedule. Here's how volume and penetration numbers look for the LH cars. The model lineup for Concorde, Intrepid, and Vision is the same for 1997. There's a new exterior color, deep amethyst, which replaces orchid across the board. There have been a number of detail refinements to all of the LH cars for 97. The 3.3-liter and 3.5-liter V6 engines have new pistons. The 3.3-liter engine also gets a revised crankshaft, camshaft, and connecting rods. Both the power antenna and the built-in child seat have been canceled. Intrepid Base and Concorde LX models get a new bolt-on wheel cover. Intrepid has a sport package with 3.5-liter engine and auto stick. Not shown here is the LHS. 97 LHS production will not start until September and will run through to July 1997 because of the late introduction of the 98 models. Our 1997 model year volumes can dictate what 98 volumes will be made available. Remember, this is our flagship model now. Don't reduce inventories and lose sales volumes. This segment of the market is probably the most stable. Be aggressive and let's get our rightful share. Sebring Convertible is now the high-profile Chrysler Glamour vehicle. It got a late start in 96 as volume production didn't begin until December of 95. We expect to sell about 1,400 to 1,500 of this model year. Sebring Convertible is doing very well, considering the late start. Maintain a solid inventory and you will experience a surprising sales gain and welcome new shoppers to your showroom. 1997 Sebring Convertible gets two new exterior colors, deep amethyst and flame red, while orchid is dropped. We're offering an optional auto stick transaxle controller with the V6 engine. Inside, there's a new dash-mounted 6-disc compact disc changer. The power antenna is new and unbreakable under normal use. There's a new keyless entry system with additional buttons for trunk and panic functions. And we have new vehicle security provisions. Both the home link transmitter and the trunk release are deactivated when the vehicle alarm is armed. In the 97 model year, we expect to increase sales to approximately 2,200 Sebring convertibles, with product available for the entire model year. Moving over to Eagle, let's take a look at Eagle Talon. Going into the 96 model year, we had a lot of 95 model carryover. So in the 96 model year, we'll sell more Talons than we did in 1995. However, most of that number will be 1995 models. For 1997, we've added a new low-line price class to the Talon lineup. That means we will have Talon Base, ESI, and the TSI all-wheel drive for 1997. Talon has been restyled for 97 with a more aggressive front end, new body side appliques on ESI and TSI, plus a new rear fascia and spoiler. There are new exterior colors, 17-inch cast aluminum wheels on the TSI, and new 14-inch wheel covers on ESI. In 1997, we expect to sell about the same number of Talons as we did in 96. However, our inventories are down to a point where you must begin ordering immediately in order to meet sales volumes and market needs. Talon models should be ordered like any other model. Don't force us to write orders to the planned production, as we invariably write the wrong models. Production for the first couple of months is planned to be heavily weighted to the new low-line model. Avenger and Sebring, our new entries into the personal sport coupe market, have done well. For 97, Dodge Avenger has a fresh look with new front fascia, new headlamp mask, front turn lamps, and new rear fascia. ES gets new fog lamps and a new rear spoiler, plus optional 17-inch cast aluminum wheels. There's a new 14-inch wheel cover on the base model, and colors have changed. Pewter blue, bright jade, and paprika replace medium gray, prism blue, and Spanish olive. Inside, 3 new radios, an AM/FM with both cassette and CD graphic equalizer with infinity speakers, or an AM/FM with full logic cassette, or an AM/FM cassette and CD player. For 97, the popular V6 engine will be an option on the Avenger Highline model. Sebring Coupe also has a new look with a restyled front end, new body side cladding, plus a new rear fascia. LXI has 17-inch cast aluminum wheels and a new rear spoiler. LX has a new standard wheel cover and optional 16-inch cast aluminum wheels. There's an optional AM/FM radio with both cassette and CD player, or an AM/FM with full logic cassette, or an AM/FM with both logic and CD graphic equalizer with infinity speakers. 1997 production for both Avenger and Sebring will not begin until September. The purpose is to accommodate changes to the 1997 model. The carryover of 96 models will be low and will allow us to get into 1997 model orders and sales quickly. Here are Viper Roadster and the all-new Viper GTS Coupe. Talk about your image cars. Have any cars ever received so much coverage by the media as Viper? We'll have two separate models for 1997, the Viper RT10 Roadster and the new Viper GTS Coupe. Both 1997 Viper models have the GTS Coupe redesigned engine that weighs 36 kilograms less. Power ratings are 450 bhp and 490 pound-feet of torque. A new RT10 cooling system has a 2-row radiator with side tanks. The 12 1/4 inch clutch is also new for the RT10. Viper Roadster gets a new instrument panel with dual front airbags. The interior is all new with high back bucket seats, new doors, glass, hardware and trim panels, and power operated side glass. There's a blow molded rear spoiler and lock and latch door system. The bulkhead trim is new with a seat belt retractor and storage compartment with latch. The center stripe is canceled. Colors available are Viper Red, Black, and Stone White. Viper GTS Coupe shares the revised engine output of the Roadster and also has adjustable pedals, a racing-style fuel filler door and cap, plus an overhead console. The GTS Coupe will be available in GTS Blue Pearl Coat and Viper Red with white stripes. The Coupe will be built May through December 1996 as a 96 model, and January through June 1997 as a 97 model. The 97 model Roadster will not enter production until February 1997 and will continue through June 97. The plan is to build only those 1996 model coupe orders from the original Viper owners who submitted orders with a coupon until all are built. This process could run through October 1996 or even December. Depending on build progress, tops will be open for dealer coupe orders sometime in September for build immediately following completion of the coupon orders. Subsequent production will depend on dealer orders and plant capacity. It will not be a free fall of orders. Viper will continue to be a highly desired, limited production image vehicle. Now take a look at this. Plymouth Prowler is real and it's coming. This is the ultimate factory street cruiser, the kind of car our customers would build for themselves if they had the time and expertise. It's rear-wheel drive, of course, using a modified version of the corporate 3.5-liter V6 engine with rear-mounted transmission. Prowler has quick acceleration, agility, braking, and handling second to none, plus the reliability, the durability, and the modern safety features customers expect. Prowler production will begin in February 1997. Currently, plans are to build about 250 in the 1997 calendar year. They will all be the same color and specification. There will not be any dealer orders accepted, nor will we take customer orders. Production will be built and assigned to dealers based on criteria to be established, such as market size, CSI and SSI, plus performance or MSR. A letter will go to all dealers when the details are finalized. You know they're going to be lined up for this one. Richard?
The Viper and Prowler are exciting, but now let's look at minivans where the real story is. And what a success story this is. We're on target to sell more than 80,000 in the 1996 model year. That's our best year ever. The small wagon segment is up 10% this model year through April compared to the same period last year, and we're up almost 40%. Calendar year, we're up 54% compared to the industry at 19%. Demand isn't just very strong. In fact, it's an unprecedented demand that has taxed our production capacity. Over the past year, we have experienced limited availability and delayed production of LE and Town and Country models, quad command seating, the fourth door, rally and sport packages, the 3.3-liter V6 engine, and even long wheelbase models. But virtually all of these items have been addressed. The money has been spent to break bottlenecks, so for 1997 models, we will come out of the gate running, if not sprinting. Let's see what changes have been made to these great minivans for 1997. The all-wheel drive long wheelbase versions are available, and the rally and sport packages are now available on long wheelbase models. There are two new colors, taupe frost and deep amethysts. Driver's side sliding door is now standard on LE, ES, and all all-wheel drive models. Inside are redesigned air conditioning center and left instrument panel outlets, an AM/FM radio with soft touch cassette, and a new cruise control switch. On the safety side, we have what is called the Enhanced Accident Response feature, which illuminates the inside of the vehicle and unlocks the doors on power door lock equipped minivans in the event of airbag deployment. Mechanically, we have new low-speed traction control available, standard on Town and Country, four-wheel disc brakes on all-wheel drive models, and load-leveling suspension optional, standard on Town and Country. As I said, we expect the 1997 model year to be pretty well open to free demand for all options and models. In summary, the 1997 model year should be nothing but positive. We know that GM will be introducing their new minivan, which will only keep the segment growing and bring even more new customers to this segment. The Ram pickup is another success story for us. With the industry up 6% this model year to date through April, we're up 21%. For the calendar year, the industry is up 16% and Chrysler is up 41%. Like the NS, the Ram pickup success story has stretched both ours and our vendors' capacities. Because so much of our sales increase has come in the 4x4 models, we've experienced some restricted availability of anti-slip differentials and axles for the 4x4 models. Even with restricted availability, you have seen your 4x4 sales volume increase by 100% this model year to date through April, and 220% this calendar year to date through April. The restricted items on Ram pickups have been particularly tough to address because they require our vendors to build new plants or enlarge existing facilities in order to meet current and anticipated demand. This requires up to 12 months lead time. But the commitments were made, and we expect free demand to be available for these options by December of this year. Ram pickup has a number of detail improvements and some added options available for 1997. A leather interior is available, as well as remote keyless entry with illuminated entry option. We've improved the frame on cab and chassis models, and there's a 2500 version of this commercial unit available. Now that the 1996 Indy is over, so is the Indy Ram model. To replace it, we have the Sport package, like last year's, and the new Sport Plus package. This one offers those huge 17-inch aluminum wheels and the other appearance items that make it one tough truck. Here's how our volume and penetration numbers for Ram pickup look. We expect the 1997 model year to be another excellent year for Ram pickup. The light-duty segment is forecast to be as strong in 1997, and we have set an objective to outsell the 1996 model year. Moving to Jeep now, we'll start with Cherokee. The The small utility segment of the truck industry is up 9% model year to date through April. However, Cherokee sales are down slightly, about 2%. Cherokee was originally introduced in 1984, and in 1993 it was repositioned below Grand Cherokee. The 1996 Cherokee will continue through October, and 1997 production will begin in November. For 1997, Cherokee is freshened to keep its appeal. The price classes will be the same, but the current Classic will only be available as a 1996 model. The 1997 Cherokee lineup is SE, Sport, and Country. The front end is new with a revised grille, headlamps and turn lights, new bumper and body side moldings. At the back, there's a new lift gate made of steel with a pull-down handle. Badges, decals, and stripes are revised to look like ZJ items. There are new wheels for Country, ventless front windows, and larger mirrors. Inside, there's a new instrument panel, floor console, and door trim panels. We're offering an overhead console with trip computer functions. Safety features have been upgraded to include dual front airbags. In 1997, the small utility segment is expected to continue its growth cycle. The segment should grow 4 to 5% in 1997. With the changes to the 1997 Cherokee, our objective is to increase our Cherokee sales by 700 units to 5,200 vehicles. Like the Cherokee, the Grand Cherokee falls into the growing small utility segment. Grand Cherokee sales are up 14% this model year to date through April. Availability has been good all year and is expected to continue through the 1997 model year. We did perceive a period of tight supply of V8 engines in February and March, but we do not expect V8s to be limited in 1997. For 1997, the models will be the same: SE, Laredo, Limited, and Orvis. As well, we'll be offering the 5.2-liter V8 in two-wheel drive models for 1997. Other Grand Cherokee models have new wheels, axle upgrades, extended rear seat, heat duct, new colors, and improved steering gear. A 3.73 axle replaces last year's 3.55 ratio. Available later in the year will be a special 5.9 Limited model featuring the Limited Decor Group, 16-inch cast aluminum wheels, the big 5.9-liter V8 engine, leather door trim panels, unique seat fabric and cladding, and a body color grille with brush guard. Here's how the volume and penetration numbers look for Grand Cherokee. Like Cherokee, our objective is to increase sales in 1997 to 18,000 units versus the 17,000 we expect to sell this year. Now, as you know, there was no 1996 YJ model or TJ model. 1997 Jeep TJ production began in February. The late availability of six-cylinder engines and hardtops has posed unique problems for Canada. The six-cylinder normally makes up 50% of our volume, and the hardtop represents almost 90% of our volume. This has resulted in a 32% decline in sales this model year versus last year, and an almost 40% decline for the calendar year. TJ is all new, but it retains the classic Jeep look that has proved so popular. The first thing you notice is the new grille with round headlights and the larger fold-down windshield. There's also a new hood, new fender flares, sill moldings, and steps. The soft top is much easier to use. It is available with full metal doors, and the hardtop will fit right over it. The biggest news is what you can't see: an all-new quadricoil suspension system that gives you a better ride on and off-road. The interior is all new with dual airbags, new modified seats, a taller and wider rear seat, new dash and controls. As I said, the hardtop and six-cylinder engine are late. However, good news: the hardtop will go into production in June and the six-cylinder version in August. This is what the volume and penetration numbers are like for TJ. With equipment restrictions being removed by August, We will have availability throughout the entire 1997 sales model year, and we have set a 97 sales objective of 5,400 vehicles. Moving back over to trucks, how about Dodge Dakota? Dakota is all new for 1997 with styling that gives it a strong resemblance to Ram pickup. There's an all-new cab, hood, grille, front fenders, and new aluminum wheels. Inside, we've got dual airbags, new instrument panel, seats and controls, new door trim panels, and an optional power outlet. The track is wider front and rear, and we're offering an improved four-wheel ABS system. Dakota production begins in August at the Dodge City plant. Our August and September production will be written by the regional office to specifications provided by Windsor. The launch plan is to reassign August and September production to key truck markets to ensure we have product in key areas for the new model announcement. We will begin to accept dealer orders in August for October build. Our objective is to sell 8,200 Dakotas in the 1997 model year and attain 19% market share. This would represent a 148% increase over the 1996 model year sales. It is an aggressive goal, but certainly attainable. When you look at the new Dakota, you can certainly see the potential. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the second portion of our meeting. On behalf of John McDonnell and myself, I wish to thank you for your attention and now turn you over to your business team manager. Thank you.